Good day, everybody. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. Happy Easter. Happy Nor'easter. Many of us will be saying in the Northeast for later Monday night, and into Tuesday morning as we get a heavy, wet snow with an impending nor'easter. Let's get into all the details here. All right, first Call Snowfall map here across the Northeast. I have most of the Poconos, Catskills, Adirondacks, the hilltops south of Syracuse, southeast of Syracuse here, into the 6 to 8 inch range. The mountains of Vermont here, 6 to 8 inches. This is mainly above 1,200 feet. You notice the valley locations around Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Syracuse getting around 1 to 2 inches, as well as Burlington and Albany areas. You'll be below, especially 1,100 feet. You'll get 1 to 2 inches. Definitely want to watch for power outages, especially the heavy wet snow where you approach 6 inches plus, because this is going to be a very heavy wet snow. Now, the ground locations in the valleys, especially the pavement, it'll be really hard to accumulate, especially during the day Monday. But you get into Monday night, that's where we could really start to see some of these intense bands really take effect. So it'll kind of manufacture some of its own cold air and some of the most intense bands. Here across Altoona, Johnstown area, we got to watch out for 3 to 6 inches here on the hilltops around these locations. Generally a 2 to 3 inch from northeast Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, western New York here as you get farther away from the heavier bands. A lot of this will fall on Monday with the diurnal effects of the higher sun angle this time of year. It really is hard to get accumulations during the day, but it's at night I'm really concerned about here. And then you get into western New England here. You're going to be on the east side of the system, so there'll be some warm air from the mid-Hudson Valley southward. So there's going to be some really tight cutoffs here dependent on elevation in the eastern Catskills, Poconos. Definitely want to watch Mount Pocono, the Endless Mountains region here in northeastern Pennsylvania. So here we go. Let's break it all down with the models here. All right, so let's take a look at the models here. The Euro, the high-resolution Euro, has been the most consistent with handling this system, really grabbing hold of it this far out. 2 low-pressure systems here, one across the south that will be creating some severe weather here for later Easter day. Not very good news down here. And then we got the upper low here to the north across Minnesota. As this heads throughout the day Monday, look at this. On the base of the Appalachians, we should start to see lots of rain. And then look at this. Enough cold air with this high-pressure system to the east to promote snow. Moderate to heavy snow in northern Ohio. A burst initially into western Pennsylvania here as we head throughout the day. Middle afternoon, take a look at that low take shape. And that upper level low pretty much is going to be the key to helping the storm strengthen here along the northeast coast. Places like Binghamton, Bradford, State College, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, the Poconos, Catskills, Laurel Highlands here getting throughout the day. I will be zooming in on this momentarily, so hold on here. Low pressure moving up along the coastline here. Take a look how it really starts to take shape. Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, up to Glens Falls. Albany, you're right on that mixture. It will be very elevation dependent as we get throughout the nighttime and early morning hours of Tuesday. Look at this, a 996 millibar low. That's pretty strong for such a late winter nor'easter here. There's that upper level low holding back here across the upper Great Lakes. And that is going to be the key to help this system strengthen. Take a look, Binghamton, up to Syracuse. You're still seeing heavy snow bands by sunrise here. So this is definitely going to take over. Behind it is a lake enhanced event as well, elevation dependent. And if we zoom in here to the northeast, let's take a look at regionally here. As we head throughout the day on Monday, there's that burst of heavier snow moving into, let me back up just a frame there, Cleveland over to State College area, Bradford. We could start to see this heavy snow take effect by noon hour, especially above 1,200 feet. The ground temperatures will be warm initially, so we're not going to look at major accumulations initially here. So we head throughout the day and into the late evening. You can see we have a mixture right around Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and State College. You see these higher elevations in north central Pennsylvania really starting to blossom here with these heavier snowfall totals, and we should start to see a deformation band set up across right around the Williamsport, State College area, up to Elmira, Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. You're still on the fence here with some rain and snow mix, but the cold air really starts to take effect here, and it's during the overnight hours. This is where you can really start to see the heavier snowfall accumulations take effect. Look at that, just northwest of Albany. That is a pretty intense snowfall band here. So definitely the higher elevations looking at least about 3 to 7 inches here. Valleys probably about 1 to 2, but we'll get into those snowfall totals momentarily. Look at this let me just back up just a frame here. So the southern and southeastern Catskills and Poconos, you'll still be mixing out by this point. Rain definitely at Boston, but look at northern New England here, really starting to fill in by this point. And as we push this to the northeast, take a look at this. This takes over as a lake-enhanced event behind it. So if we take a look at the snowfall totals here, let's take a look at this. So yeah, it's not taking into effect the really warm ground in some of the valley locations. But if you take a look at the Euro, it's pretty consistent here. Above 1,200 feet, you could be seeing these totals approach early to the low-end warning criteria here, 6 inches or more. So probably looking around 6 to 8 inches above 1,200 feet aroround the Binghamton, Elmira area, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Now, you take a couple inches off this, obviously, for the warm ground. So we're going to get into that high-end advisory criteria above 1,200 feet. Definitely looking potentially at that warning criteria above like 1,700 feet. And look, you get into the Adirondacks here. Yeah, 14, 16 inches. Probably looking at around 10 inches at some of these locations, and the northern White and Green Mountains here as well. Some of the Berkshires getting in on this. But there it is for the Euro. If we take a look, let's compare the other models here with the GFS. If we take a look at the snowfall, well, let's kick this in here. So yeah, there is a big difference. The GFS is a bit further east here. I'll show you on the surface analysis here. It is kind of painting the Hudson Valley. This has been the most inconsistent model, though, with this storm. So actually, let's get into, if we get into the surface, and there we go, precipitation type rate. Take a look at this. So we head into Monday here. So you see this burst of heavier snow. It's pretty consistent here with the Euro as we continue to push this to the northeast here. So yeah, it's hugging the coastline just like the Euro. Heavy rain here into New York City. Some light to moderate snows here, parts of the upper Susquehanna Valley. This is by midnight, Monday night. And if you take a look, it has the much heavier snow to the east here. So I'm a little bit wary to jump on board completely with this model, but it is showing, this is something to watch. The GFS has been a bit further east with this system, but it's slowly pushing to the west in time with each model run with the Euro at this point. So that's where we come in with that. If we take a look at the NAM, now this is a really interesting model. It is kind of showing there is some deviation here. So this is basically simulated radar. If we put this into effect on Monday early afternoon, we're really getting some of this moderate to heavy snow. Definitely not accumulating on the roadways here with the diurnal sun effects this time of year. But look at this. As we push this to the northeast, we're getting some of that moderate to heavy snow across interior New York, Pennsylvania, Binghamton, State College, Williamsport, all along Route 6 here in the northern part of Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. The NAM is typically colder with these systems, so I have to watch, you have to watch this. And it is a bit further inland to it, so it actually pushes some of the warmer air into Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, Allentown, Harrisburg. So definitely have to watch for this. It pushes the heaviest snow bands to the north and west of places like Ithaca, Binghamton, Syracuse, Elmira, these areas. So definitely something to watch here, and it does keep the Poconos and Catskills rain most of this event. So I'm a little bit wary of this system too on the NAM 3 kilometer. If we take a look at the regular NAM, let's see. Actually, let's take a look at the snowfall first on this model. So snowfall, total snowfall, here we go. So putting this into effect, what do we see? Yeah, it's definitely a lot more different than the other two models, showing the heaviest access of snowfall here across parts of central Pennsylvania and into north central New York here. Places like, you get into Johnstown, Altoona, Williamsport, State College, Elmira, Ithaca, Syracuse, these areas up in the Tug Hill, and keeps pretty much everything Poconos, Catskills on eastward. Pretty much nothing here. So the Euro's definitely been most consistent with this system. And take a look at the temperature profile during the day on Monday. Look at this. We got this reinforcing shot of cold air in the morning. Definitely a cold, frosty start. And as we head throughout the day, we start to warm it up a bit. But you notice this layer of cold air here at the surface. Definitely supporting snow here in the upper Appalachians here during the day on Monday, especially above that 1,200 feet mark here. And as you see, we head throughout the day, the temperatures actually drop here into Ohio, western Pennsylvania, where it's actually much warmer here to the northeast, where the sun and the clouds are, where the precipitation is. And the heaviest precipitation, that's where the system is manufacturing its own cold air, so to speak. So as we head throughout Monday night, watch how quickly temperatures drop here. We definitely below freezing in eastern Ohio, the highlands here of central Pennsylvania, and getting up into New York here. To see this 33 degree in Binghamton, 34, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, 31 in St. Mary's, 35 in Erie. So near the lakes, we tend to stay a little bit warm, but look at interior parts, especially these higher elevations. Western Pennsylvania continuing to intensify the cold air, where the heaviest snow will be falling. Take a look. Some of these temperatures in the Catskills and the Poconos just below freezing or at freezing. So this is going to be a heavy wet snow. You see Binghamton there, 33 in the valley, staying very wet snow, so to speak. And as we head throughout the day, sunrise here, definitely looking snowy here, and we start to warm it up throughout the day. So those valley locations switch back to rain, maybe a very slow switch over above 1,200 feet here. But as we head towards the evening hour again on Tuesday night here, this is where we start to see whatever precipitation is left over starts to change back to snow here. And the 500 millibar height anomalies, let's take a look at that system. So as we head through on Monday, it's kind of weird because you actually see a pretty quick ridge developing here. But watch what takes its place here for Tuesday morning. See that big trough? That's exactly what's bringing us that big nor'easter, that winter storm. And look how it kind of goes negative here, that negative southeast to northwest oriented trough here. That's a sign of a very strong trough. And then you got this massive block here to the northeast of the system. So the system really starts to slow down. And that is the concern here across the northeast, and definitely a bigger ridge developing out west here. This gives way to a ridge later in the week, so we actually go above average with temperatures as we strengthen this massive ridge in the east, and that's what will help bring us a severe weather outbreak across the south and the plains as this big trough kicks in out west here. Look at that. By next weekend into early next week, we definitely see a reversal here in the pattern. And taking a look at John, he's sending in his photo from Huddersfield Stadium here. Take a look at the beautiful skies. You got some cirrus clouds here off in the distance as well. Very nice capture. Looks like a really nice day out there. Nice captures, John. Extended outlook for my hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna, River Valley, and hilltop locations around Monday. Yeah, we see that cold rain. Temperatures will be falling throughout the day, falling through the 40s after a really cold start of only 23 on Monday night. This is where we see about up to 2 inches in the valleys, below 1,100 feet, and above 1,200 feet, we could see up to that 3 to 6 plus inch range. Some isolated locations could hit that 7 inch, especially above that 1,500 foot range. And then it's going to be a very heavy wet snow for those of you above the 1,200 foot range. You could see some scattered power outages happen with that heavy wet snow. In the valleys, it'll be more on the grassy surfaces, 1 to 2 inches. And Tuesday, we have an additional inch in the hilltops above 1,200 feet. It will be switching to rain first in the valleys and then on the hilltops afternoon. And then Wednesday, we cleared out windy conditions behind that nor'easter, getting up towards 57. And Thursday, the clouds roll in from the west, 65 degrees. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern. Don't forget to give Facebook page, follow me on Meteor Mark on Facebook, also Weather Northeastern. Also for the hurricane season, Hurricane Northeastern. At Twitter, it's at Weather Eastern. MeteorMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com. Don't forget to question or comment down below. Smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell button. Thanks for watching.